Hey, here we are. It's Mr. Kraus. It's time to analyze and expand upon some of the subjects in the great novel, should call it a novella of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, the California author. For this paper, I'm an English teacher at Downey High School, and we're trying to focus on some thesis work for a traditional 5 paragraph essay. The subjects or the options would be friendship, outcasts or loners, and then what does the book say about the American dream? And so if we jump over in just a quick slideshow here, I got some help for you guys. So here's a good thesis starter for the American dream. Just we'll start at the bottom and we'll end up at the top. Like Drake said, the novella points out through George and Lenny's journey that the American dream demands. And you're more than welcome to this. And what you would do is list 3 things, like a plan, like avoiding mistakes or avoiding pitfalls, and lastly, a little luck or a little help, something like that. You can get into the negative, right? Like the American dream is unattainable because it requires, and then you would list 3 things that must all be present in order to achieve the American dream. You guys will notice some color coding in this slideshow. And so instead of calling it a novella, you can call it a wonderful book or a short narrative. Instead of saying it points out, you could say it suggests. So the wonderful book suggests through George and Lenny's journey that the American dream demands. Or you could say the short narrative propounds through George and Lenny's journey that the American dream demands. So just trying to give you guys synonyms. Instead of calling them George and Lenny, you've got those options. Instead of this powerful verb demands, you got includes. It's a little softer, let's be honest. Requires, necessitates, or stronger, and then obliges, right? Things that a person ought to do. So these are some options to put a little twist on this sentence frame for your thesis on the American dream. All right. Thesis helper for the one loner. Again, you'll see that I've set it up for you guys with some synonyms. So you might say the novella points out through Lenny, and then the Lenny thing, we should fix that, right? You would focus on one character, and so some of the options would be Curly's wife, Curly, although rare, and of course Crooks, who's also known as the stable buck. You would focus on one of those characters instead of Lenny, and we get back into the slideshow. That's what I get for copy and pasting. The Curly's wife has a short life. Curly does not, and Crooks does not. So you would take out the short life, so just an eventful life, and that outcast face. And then if you're focusing on one character, they could encounter, they could collide with, or they must endure. And then you would list 3 things like name calling, segregation, isolation. How about social pressures, or social events that conspire against them? So you'd be listing those 3 things here to round out your essay. Your thesis. There is another option with the loners or the outcasts, and that's the 3 idea. And the 3 idea is something like 3 characters face the same exclusionary tactic employed in a particular environment. And so, synonyms again, although we're not going to call them the protagonist, we're going to list the 3 characters that you're focusing on. And the novella points out through Lenny's, Curly's wife's, and Candy's eventful short lives that we might take short out if we include Candy, that outcasts face, and then what's the one thing they all face, right? And then, not to give you guys too many ideas, but obviously that segregation, that social isolation factor, where they even do it to themselves, right, is all in there. And I say there, I mean the book, right, the novella of Mice and Men, which gives us one last thing here. We're talking about friendship as the subject. The novella points out through George and Lenny's, although you could argue there's a slim factor, there's a candy factor in there too, and that's encouraged. I would love that. The novella points out through George and Lenny's brief time together that strong friendships demand. And, just same idea, trying to give you guys synonyms. There's an extra one in here for the type of friendship. And then lastly, if you guys are going to argue that there's ingredients to a toxic friendship, it's pretty much the same as this. If you're going to argue for one toxic and then two positive, you can stretch this thesis out with a fancy but, such as however, nevertheless, nonetheless. That would work, okay? So I hope that helps. It's just a quick video on helping you guys get your thesis together for your essays. I wish you all the best and good luck on composing your essay, your ideas on what is the lesson or moral or truth about life from that novella of Mice and Men. Talk to you soon. Good luck.